Hello everyone. Jesus Christ, I'm knackered after that. Absolutely knackered. I think that's the most exercise I've had since the 80s. Jesus Christ. I think I've done my neck in as well. Hello everyone from me and Mr. TB Bear. Oh, TB, so excited, aren't you, TB? So excited, yes. F1's back on Saturday. Well, Friday if you happen to get Sky, which we don't. Probably Thursday as well. Probably Wednesday. Oh, it's already Thursday. Can't be. Oh, never mind. We don't care, do we, TB? We'll just watch the highlights on Channel 4 with David Twat Coulthard, won't we? Yes, yes, we don't mind. We're not bitter, are we? Are we? Hug me, TB. Hug me. Hug me. Anyway, hello, are we all excited? God, I need a haircut. Bloody hell. Are we all excited for the After One? The After One is back. Yes. Let's put you over there, TB. Hang on, I've got to get me good tablet because my other one's crapped up. So I can see all your lovely messages. I'm still knackered. I'm still bloody knackered. Oh. Bloody hell. Here we are, top of the stream. Well, it would be. It's your own stream, you pleb. Let me have a look. Now, I'd just like to say I do apologise for the lack of videos this week. I haven't been feeling too good. I'm still not feeling that good, but it was very disappointing for me because I've got four videos halfway through completion, and unfortunately I had to give up on them. But I'm not giving up on the videos. They'll still be coming out, but they'll come out at a later date. So I apologise for that. But we are back. Let's not talk about me. Who really cares? No one. We are back. Just JMO is the first comment on the Hookster Talks return. Fantastic. He says, Maxi Boy. Yes, indeed. That's why I put it in the title, because according to all the reports, it's going to be another whitewash year for Maxi Boy. There we go. Hello, Scott. Welcome to the stream. Jamie says, give him the 8 world titles now. Well, I think that's probably what's going to happen, Jamie. I think that's probably what's going to happen in the end anyway. He will possibly get 8 titles. I'm not so sure, though. I'm not so sure. We've got to look into the Ford prospect in 2026. That could throw a serious spanner in the works. Don't forget Honda. Yes, what a fucking disaster that was when it first started, wasn't it, with McLaren? That could happen with Ford because they've got no experience with these engines. Have they? Really? Have they got any experience with it? I don't think they have. Not these hybrids. So that's basically why they've come on board now, and they're giving a little bit of, they're not actually giving advice to the Honda guys because they know what they're doing, and so does everyone at Red Bull. But they're on board now, so they can get a bit of advice of what to do when they sort of take over in 2026, I think, is more that's going to happen. But I think that could throw a little spanner into the works. Hopefully it won't, but it could do, and that could at least stop Maxi Boy from getting his final couple of championships. But who knows? That Honda may have just been a one-off. We will see. Hello. Oh my goodness. I do apologise. I cannot say your name. In fact, I'm trying to say it in my head, right? I'm going to say Ignacio Segon. I'm sure that's complete and utter bullshit, but I did try my best, sir. I did try my best. Anyway, welcome to the stream. He says, this is not how I expected you to look. Funny. I do get that a lot. Yes, I do get that a lot. Yes, the face doesn't quite fit the comedy, does it? But yes, this is me in real life, in the flesh. Look, I'm real. Look. Ow. Will F1 Gaming says, and welcome to the stream, by the way, Will. He says, no 8th world title for Lulu. I think you're right, Will. I couldn't get my words out then. I think you're right, Will. Actual fact, that's a bit of a tongue twister to say in a sentence. Right, Will. Are you all right, Will? Yeah, I'm all right, Will. Are you all right, Will? But yes, I think you are right, Will. I don't think Lewis Hamilton is going to get an 8th title. I've said this before, but I really don't want him to, because I want him to stay level with Michael Schumacher and I want that result to stand. So obviously I don't want Maxi Boy to get 8 titles either. But I'd be very happy if he got 7. I'd be very content with that. So there'd be 3 people with that equal status of 7 times world champions. That would be great. But yes, it's not going to be on the cards for Lulu. We're already hearing a few reports that this new Mercedes is not as good as they thought it was going to be. We heard that last year and it did come to fruition, but it looks like it's going to be the same again. Unfortunately, Mercedes aren't the front running team anymore. They had it for a lot of years. What is it, 2014? They were the front running team. But don't forget, of course, before 2014, we had Red Bull as the front running team from 2010 with Sebastian Vettel winning all those titles. So, you know, it's just the way Formula One goes. Teams get to the top and they stay there for a few years and then they start to drop down again. Now, personally, I think the fact that Mercedes seem to be losing a lot of their people to other teams hasn't quite helped their situation. I also think a little bit of the blame has to go with Toto. He seems a little bit unfocused in his Formula One job at the moment. I don't know, he just doesn't seem all that there. He doesn't seem to be 100% committed. I think Toto's more thinking to the future and what he's going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years than what he really should be doing right now, which is making sure that the Mercedes team gets to the top, because at the moment they aren't. They're looking at about 5th or 6th, maybe 3rd or 4th finishes at the moment. That's the early rumours anyway. But of course you can't take any notice of testing, because testing, as everyone knows, is a complete load of bollocks. Yes, complete load of bollocks. I don't know why all these big like I'm gonna say it, like WTF1 and all the others started going all about all this we learned from testing. You don't learn a thing from testing, because it's all bollocks until they get out on the circuit on Saturday to do their qualifying. That's the only time you're going to see exactly how fast all these cars are. But at the moment, no. We've got no idea from testing. The only thing that has cropped up in testing is how bad the McLaren is right now. Looking at the pace of the McLaren, as I say, you can't take it from testing, but overall, how the car looks and feels on the circuit, which they noticed in testing, it looks like McLaren could be 15th and 16th place finishers, which I'm sure you'll agree is absolutely disastrous for McLaren. I mean, this is a team that has been at the front for very many years. Not recently, but they have been at the front for a very long time. But just recently, they've been very up and down, and that seems to be the case with McLaren. They have this roller coaster sort of progressional curve where they start to go up one year, and then next year they seem to go down and then go back up again. It's a very, very weird situation at McLaren. But yes, they are looking like they're going to be 15th and 16th place finishers, which is very bad news for Piastri, because of course we all know that he didn't want to go to Alpine, so went to McLaren. It looks like Alpine are going to be outperforming McLaren at the start of the season, which is very bad news. I'm very, very sad to hear that about McLaren, because I wanted McLaren to be the sort of top midfield runner up there, you know, just behind the big boys. But it definitely looks like that's not going to be the case, which is very sad indeed. Scott Barnes says, I'm absolutely happy that Lance is back in the paddock after his injury. And please don't apologise, Dave, you ain't feeling it and you ain't feeling it. Yeah, these past few days, I haven't been feeling it. Also, I've got these 4 videos. I've been struggling to try and get them finished. but I had to give up in the end. And anyway, today I'm feeling okay, so I thought, right, do the live. I wasn't even going to do the live stream today, but I thought, right, do the live stream. So I'm doing that so I can get out of the way, and then we can hopefully start to improve again over the weekend. But yes, that's why I'm here. So Scott is very happy that Lance Stroll is back racing. It's just so weird. All these commentators saying about what was up with Lance Stroll. Oh, he's broken both his wrists. I don't think he's broken both his wrists. He would certainly not be racing this weekend if he had done. It's just, he's broken his arm. And I think it's one Spanish news agency said he'd broken his leg or something. I don't know. So obviously the real sort of takeaway you can get from that is he probably bruised his arm slightly, because there's no way he'd be back in the car if he'd broken both his wrists. Wrists would be at least 3 months to heal up, and to be honest, there's no way he could have survived the G-forces and the way you have to turn the steering wheel if you've got 2 broken wrists. It's not going to happen. So obviously that wasn't what was up with Lance. It was a bit strange, though, the way it's reported and the way there's sort of secrecy. Maybe they weren't too sure what was up with Lance Stroll at the start, and so they kept it quiet. But it's certainly clear now that he didn't have 2 broken wrists, because otherwise, yeah, he would not be driving this weekend. So yes, Mr. Scott Barnes, Lance Stroll, love him or hate him. I know some people love him, some people hate him, but whatever you feel about Lance, he's back for the Grand Prix at Aston Martin. And how do we think Aston Martin are going to do? Well, looking at testing, which as I say means absolutely nothing, but looking at testing, Aston Martin look pretty decent, it has to be said, and they could be a serious contender for that top midfield slot just behind the big boys. Yeah, it's definitely looking like that if they can continue the progress that they've made. Of course, they've got Fernando Alonso in the team. Everyone knows Fernando is very difficult to work for. Yes, in fact, I expect everyone at Aston Martin, when he was announced that the team sent out a collective, oh God, not Fernando. But it'll be all right, because he likes to keep his team sweet. Anyone who remembers his old, I think it was Renault days, when, you know, the team members, the mechanics and all that, used to get these lovely little white envelopes. Yes, with thanks from Fernando, stuffed with cash back in the day. Yeah. Well done, Fernando. Well done indeed. So yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right in the long run. It's just like an acknowledgement, really, isn't it? If you give someone cash, it's just like, yeah, I know I'm an arsehole, but here, have some cash and it'll be fine. Oh, thanks very much, mate. Yeah, thanks, yeah. So yeah, well done to Fernando. So yes, the Aston looks pretty decent, but will it be? Because of course this has been said before when it was Racing Point and stuff like that, and then straight out of the gate they weren't very good. But we will see at the first round of the championship. Jamie says Max will leave Red Bull and go to the highest bidder, best team when that happens. His dad will ensure that. Yeah, true, Jamie. I can't see him having a very, very long career at Red Bull, it has to be said. I mean, these days with the performance of the car, which is very close. I mean, you've got Ferrari, you've got Mercedes and Red Bull, and quite a few of the other teams are getting very much to that equal performance level. There's no way that Max is going to stay at Red Bull forever. I mean, even Sebastian Vettel, after 4 championships, you know, he moved on. And that's what's going to happen with Max. I can see him going somewhere else. I don't know where I could never see him at Mercedes. I don't think he'd ever go to Mercedes, to be honest. But I could see him at Ferrari. Yes, I could definitely see him at Ferrari. So we will see what happens. But yeah, Max will definitely want to move on. He won't want to stay for the whole of his career just in the Red Bull car, because that's what happens to a lot of the drivers. You know, they want they want to show the world that they can still do the business in another car, not just, you know, this one, because it's been winning so many championships. So yeah, I can see him moving on. Will F1 Gaming says, my prediction, Lewis Hamilton will retire at the end of the season. Controversial, Will. Controversial. Now, how old is the old bugger? How old is he? I think, is he 38 now? 38, is it? Or 37? Something like that, anyway. I think he's 38 at the moment. Wait a minute. Let's ask Google, because it's very important. Lewis Hamilton age. Yes, Lewis Hamilton is 38. His birthday was the 7th of January, so he's only just 38 years old. Yeah, so that's going to be a bit of a conundrum for Lewis there this season. So he's definitely reaching the end of his career in Formula One anyway. I don't know what he'll go on to do. Probably flog t-shirts for a living. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely definitely in the twilight years for Lewis Hamilton at the moment. And I think if his performance level stays the same this year, I think he probably will call it a day. Or he might just do one more year, and then take him up to 40 years old and then say, right, that's it. I definitely don't see him doing a Fernando and disappearing for a couple of years and then coming back again. I don't see any motivation for Lewis to do that. I think once he's gone, and he won't ever come back. I mean, I say that, it could happen, but I just don't see that with Lewis, because he said many times in interviews, he says, I've still got a lot of things I want to do, and none of those mentioned were returning to Formula One, so I can't see it happening. So yeah, I think this is definitely the twilight years for Lewis Hamilton. He's had a fantastic career, let's put it that way. He's won a lot of races, he's won a lot of championships, and at the end of the day, you know, you get to a point when your time's up, and Lewis Hamilton's time is almost up. It's not there yet, but it's almost up. I think I've said this in a previous stream. He's starting to remind me now of Riccardo Patrese, who sort of started his career as a really great driver, but sort of tailed off towards the end of his career. But he carried on going, and he carried on going as like the number 2 driver to, like, you know, the big up and coming drivers. I think he was number 2 to Nigel Mansell when he was, you know, at the top of his career. But previously, Patrese would have been, you know, better than Mansell. But as I say, as his career went on, he lost performance. He still decided to carry on going, but he sort of became the number 2 driver. And that seems to be the way that Lewis Hamilton is heading with George Russell. He seems to be moving to a more number 2 role, which he could quite easily do for this year and next year, and possibly one more after that. And then he'll probably say okay and call it a day. We will see, though. We will see. Who knows with Lulu? Will F1 Gaming says, Martin Brundle appeared on a WTF1 video. You know what, Will? It's funny you mention that, because I did actually know that. I have never clicked on a video so fast. Never clicked on a video so fast. Yep, that's it. So desperate for views now, they have to pay Martin Brundle to go on one of their videos. That's how desperate they are for views. Next week, I've heard they've got a special guest. It's the Pope. Yeah, the Pope is on WTF1 next week. Yes, so look out for it, because it's going to be great. Yeah, there'll be 1 million views for that one. 1 million views. I haven't actually looked at it today. What is the view count for that video? Because it wasn't doing very well last night before I went sleepies. Yes, let's have a quick look now and have a look. Please bear with me. Actually, I shall make myself smaller for the moment. Here we are. Look, there I am. There I am. Yes, my my sound and vision might be going out of sync because I'm actually on YouTube and my computer's going, I can't do two things at once. What are you taking me for? I can't do two things. All right, let's go to WTF1 and see how that wonderful video is doing. Here it is. Wow, wowzers. We've got 51k views. Look at that. Just looking through the rest of the views. No, we got 77 for Alonso, but 51k views. Look at that. Fantastic. Let's have a look at P1 with Matt and Tommy. Let's see what views they're getting. Let's have a look. What's this? 5 hours ago. Hang on, I've got to move myself out of the way. But you can't see it. Go over there. 5 hours ago, we got 71k views, lads. WTF1 lads, 5 hours, 70. Well, it looks like Martin Bundle didn't work, did it? Oh dear. Look at these views, though. Look at these views. Look, I mean, they've only got, let's have a go at the top, with 278k subs. It is going up very fast, but that's still only just over 250,000 subs. But look at these views. Look, 278k, 223, it's all in the, which is, I mean, I do study how YouTube works, and that is basically what you call 100% engagement. Because if you look at the subscriber count and then look at the view count, I mean, look, that shows you, look, 278k. That video from 2 days ago got 278k. That is a 100% engagement. 100%. Very few channels get 100% engagement. I mean, I shall just demonstrate that. Let's go to something stupid like PewDiePie. I know I don't like PewDiePie, in case you're wondering. So here's PewDiePie. He's got 111 million subscribers. Absolutely ridiculous amount of subscribers. Let's have a look at his recent videos. So he's got 111 million subscribers, but his engagement is actually pretty low. I mean, look, we got 2.8 million views. That is like 7% engagement. 3 million views. So they're rough. Oh, we got 11. Oh well, Marcy's having a baby, so it would have 11 million views, wouldn't it? But yeah, they're roughly averaging out about 3 million views. That's basically 7.5% engagement. And this is PewDiePie, one of the biggest on YouTube. Absolutely. And engagement wise, no. So Matt and Tommy are doing very bloody well indeed, and they must be very proud of that. Very proud indeed. Well done indeed. Anyway, that's enough of that. Jamie says, well, I'm surprised these clowns even know who he is. True. Will F1 Gaming says, Lando Norris needs to leave McLaren for the sake of his career. Yes, I do agree with you there. He does need to leave McLaren. He is definitely a talent. And he's shown that at McLaren. And yes, he does need to leave. And he needs to leave at the end of this season. Obviously, he can't go anywhere now because he's contracted. But at the end of this season, he needs to leave and go somewhere else, because McLaren have got a huge amount of problems going on with that team. And Lando Norris doesn't need to be involved with the problems. He needs to just get out of it and go somewhere else, because that is a talent that is being wasted. Talent that's being wasted. So yeah, I agree with you there. Hello, Polish Eddie. Welcome to the stream. And Mr. Champ 92 as well. He says, hello, race fans. And hello, Dave. Hello, sir. Welcome to the stream. As I promised, I said I would come and say hello to your chat. Yes, thank you very much. You're very welcome, as always. I stopped with content due to a personal decision, but I'm not going to stay quiet or inactive if I can have time and try to follow your streams. Well, thank you, sir. Welcome along. Yeah, don't stay inactive. Don't stay inactive. I say every week that I'm going to give up YouTube, but here I am. It's like the mafia. Just when I think I'm out, they drag me back in. Yes. Did you like the Godfather reference there? Did you like that? Yeah, good. In my opinion, Red Bull is going to be world champion by miles, but it's still only testing. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think Red Bull have got it. Unfortunately, I'm not a hater of Max Verstappen. In fact, I'm not a hater of any of the drivers, to be honest. But for us as the viewer, if it is going to be Max Verstappen whitewash this year, then that's going to be very boring to watch, unfortunately. I mean, obviously, if you're a Max Verstappen fan, it's going to be very interesting to watch. But if you're not, it's going to be pretty boring to watch if there's going to be no one to challenge him. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. I'm hoping it's just the usual testing bullshit that they come out with about, oh, these are fast, these are slow, and what have you. And I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping. You know what? Every year I hope this. I'm hoping for a 1997 championship. It never happens, but I hope for it every year. If anyone remembers, it was basically, I think it was 4 teams. Benetton, Ferrari, Williams, and who was the other one? I can't remember. McLaren. No, McLaren weren't quite there, were they? They were at the end of the season, but not at the start. So I'm going to say 3 teams. It was basically between 3 teams. And it was a really exciting championship because their performance level was pretty much equal between all, and they had some great drivers in the teams as well. Don't forget, great drivers. We had John Alesi and Gerhard Berger. And so, you had Michael Schumacher in the mix as well at Ferrari. And of course, you had Jack Villeneuve. And yes, it was Heinz-Harald Frentzen at Williams as well. And, great drivers, great teams, great cars as well. All 6 of those cars were great. I mean, the Ferrari was a dog in 95, but Michael Schumacher pulled that team up and managed to get them great again by 97. And it was just a great championship. It really was. Really was. But it never happens. It never happens. I try every year to say, yep, this is what's... You're going to have a 1997 season, but no, sadly we don't. But hopefully we will get some competition. Hopefully Mercedes will be up there. But more importantly, I'm hoping Ferrari will be up there. Yes, let's hope so. Anyway, I want Ferrari, if they could just maintain the performance that Ferrari had at the first 2 rounds of last year, keep that going for the whole of the season, then they're going to be, I mean, they're still not going to beat Max, but they're going to be a serious threat. We just need someone to be a foil for Max. That's all we need. We need someone to be a foil. We need someone to be up there fighting with Max. That's all we know Max is still going to win it, but we need someone up there fighting. And I'm hoping that Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc is going to be those 2 gladiators that are going to fight with Max Verstappen. We shall wait and see for the season to start on the 5th of March. Yes, we will. Matthew D'Souza says, if a team dominates race 1, I might not watch this season. F1 needs a 2 teams battle minimum. Yes, I do agree with you. Matt, it's, as I say, it's going to be a bit of a hard watch if Red Bull are going to be dominant again. It's just crazy when you think about it, isn't it? Teams get dominant and everyone complains. And it's like, boo, boring. It's just, so when you're good at something, it's bad. That's basically, I mean, in the UK, that is very, very true indeed for everything in life. When you're really down on your luck, people are there to support you. But when you get up high on your pedestal, everyone then has a go at you, and they just can't wait for you to fall down on your ass and end up back down in the gutter again. Never has that been more prevalent than in the UK. That happens all the time. Yeah. We just, it just seems to be endemic to our culture in the UK that we just love to build people up, and then we love to just knock them back down to earth again. It's just crazy. Jamie says, maybe it was the car, McLaren, but I've never seen a driver as uncomfortable in a car as Piastri last week. It looked awful. Yes, he didn't look comfortable. I did see about 30 seconds of it on YouTube somewhere. He didn't look great at all. And obviously, it's it is his first turning a Formula One car, isn't it? I mean, obviously he's probably been doing some testing elsewhere before the actual testing time, but yeah, it would have been his first sort of run properly in a Formula One car, so we'll give him a little bit for that. But yes, it didn't look pleasant, and neither did the McLaren, it has to be said. It looked a little bit all over the place, but we will see. I'm hoping that that was just a glitch, or, you know, they were testing something that didn't work and now they've gone back to what they had originally. I'm hoping anyway, because there's no way anyone wants to see McLaren's 15th and 16th place finishing. I mean, that's going to be ridiculous. They're going to be down there with what have we got at the back of the grid right now? The Alphas, they're going to be at the back. The Williams, I think, are going to be, well, we know they're going to be pretty much at the back, and possibly the Haas as well, but I'm not quite sure. They may have a little bit of a advantage this year. The Haas car, it looks a pretty decent package they've got together this year, but definitely they'll be down there with the Williams if that's the case. And that's not, we don't in 2023 want to see a Williams and a McLaren at the back of the grid. I mean, to anyone who knows their F1 history, that's just, no, we don't want to see that, do we? We really don't want to see that. That'll be the I can't even say the word, but, you know, that'll be the start of the demise of these great teams that were, don't forget, top of the tree back in their day in the 90s. McLaren, of course, and Williams. They were both up there at the top in the 90s. And for 2023, if we see Williams fighting with McLaren's right at the back for 15th and 16th places, it's going to be a very sad day for Formula One. Very, very sad day. And I'm not quite sure. I mean, Williams, they seem to be quite happy with the job that they're doing. They seem okay. The budget seems okay. I've not heard anything about budget problems at Williams. So whatever they're doing, they seem quite happy. But of course, a team like McLaren are never going to be happy if they're ending up 15th and 16th place. That's going to be ridiculous, considering that, you know, we've had, what was it, Daniel Ricciardo won a race, didn't he? Was it last year or the year before? So they're never going to, that's never going to sit well with McLaren if they do end up that far down the grid, and serious questions will have to be asked, I think, personally, about the leadership of that team, because I've never been so sure about Zach Brown. I've never been so sure about him. I'm not convinced he's a great team leader, to be honest. I think if McLaren end up in 15th and 16th places, questions need to be asked, and I think maybe a complete turnaround of the whole structure of McLaren may be necessary to get them back to the front again. So we will see. We will see. Champ 92 says, never count out Alonso. You would be out of your mind to do that. Oh no, Fernando's still going to be there. Fernando's still going to be there. Definitely. How old is he now? 40, 150? I don't know. Something like that, isn't he? He's a very old man. He's a very old man, and he's still driving a full... Hang on, I'll ask Google. I think he's 42, isn't he? Fernando Alonso age. Is he 42? He's 41 on the 29th of July. So he's 42 this year. 41 years old and still getting 7 Gs on his neck going around corners. It's just, that's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. When I reached 41, all my bits started dropping off. So, yeah, I've no idea how he does it. But well done to him. Well done. And hasn't he signed that deal for 3 years at Aston Martin? It was a 3-year deal, wasn't it? So it'd be 42. So it'd be 42, 43. It'd be 44. 44 by the time his 3-year deal is up. That is just amazing. But saying that, we look at age now these days as, oh, you know, you're washed up and useless in sport at 39. That isn't the case, because I also remember Nigel Mansell Excuse me while I'm typing it to Google. There you go. When Mansell won the title in 1992, he was 39 years old. And he won the title at 39 years old. So that's another thing. You see all these doubters of Lulu. It is possible. It's highly unlikely, but it is possible that Lewis could win another title. But yeah, he was 39 years old. And that was 92, don't forget. So, and 93, he was in Champ Cars, wasn't he, in 94. So he would have been 41 while he was doing that. And then he did 2 seasons in Champ Cars. So he would have been 42 when he did that. And then, of course, he was still doing occasional races in Formula 1 as well before he hung his hat up. And in 97, he almost got a drive at Jordan, which meant he would have been about 46 at that time. 46, yeah. But that all fell through and it didn't go through anyway. But yeah, in 97, he was almost going to drive for Jordan, but it went to Ralph Schumacher. But yeah, so age is not a complete signal of, being done. It really isn't. But that's great to see that Fernando Alonso is still going at his age. And it looks like then if he finishes, obviously at 44, he's going to hang his head up and say, I'm done. There's no way he's going to go further than 44. That's why he signed a 3-year deal. This is Fernando Alonso's last F1 contract ever. It's got to be. He's not going to go past that. But, he's going to be 44 years old and he's going to retire. That's going to be great. Absolutely great. Now, of course, back in the old days of Formula 1, the drivers were even older than that. We remember when Juan Manuel Fangio, that's a mouthful, he was bloody ancient by the time he won his championship. But unfortunately, back in those days, championships consisted of about 7 rounds. So, you can't really say. But yeah, he was in his, I'm sure he was in his 50s when he won his championship. So yeah, back in the day, back when men were made of brass and twigs, you could be older and still win Formula 1 championships. It's really not the case these days because of the G-forces and everything else and the pressure that you're put under compared to back in the... Mind you, they had a lot of pressures back in the day. They only used to wear those little cloth hats, didn't they? Jesus Christ. So, you can't really compare it. But anyway, 39 seems to be about the cut-off point, unless your name's Fernando Alonso. If he comes back at 44 after this 3-year deal and signs another 3-year deal, I'm done. Jamie says, then you got someone like Logan Sargent in the Williams, loving life when expected absolutely nothing from him. Quite true. But then, of course, he's made a good decision, or his agent's made a good decision to go to Williams because the expectations for him are very low because the Williams are in the state that they're in at the moment, being pretty much at the back of the field. So that expectation is not very high compared to like Piastri, who's gone to McLaren, which, is a team that technically on paper should be right up there. So there's extra pressure for Piastri to perform. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I don't think Piastri... And that could, unfortunately, also affect his career going forwards if he doesn't perform well in the McLaren. Not because he's not performing well, but because the car just isn't up there. But as I say, if you end up in that situation, you usually... it does hurt your career. There's no 2 ways about it. Champ 9 says, he is still as fast. He is. I agree. Polish Eddie, well then, bye Matt. Champ 92 says, well, you can't compare that time to today. He burned a lot of bridges, that's for sure. Yeah, that's true. Will F1 Gaming says, Tiamat Marduk predicted Max Verstappen to finish 4th in 2021. 4th? Wow. Well done, Benji boy. 4th. Champ 92 says, Alonso is just Alonso. And he says, Verstappen will leave Red Bull maybe one day, but not yet. Yeah. Yeah, he will definitely leave at some point. Hamilton is 38. Yes, he is. The whole grid is about to get older and older as we speak. It is indeed. It is indeed. It's great to see. As an old person myself, I love it. Not just Lulu. Matthew says, are Aston Martin really as good as people are predicting? Well, as I say, Matt, very difficult to tell. Very difficult to tell indeed, because testing, as I say, means absolutely nothing. But on paper, yes, Aston Martin are looking pretty decent. We won't, as I say, we won't know until Saturday for qualifying. We won't even know on Friday for the practice, because there's a lot of sandbagging that goes on during those practice sessions as well. That's not a indicator of real performance or times, because they can put in as much fuel as they want and not have to worry. So we're not going to know until qualifying on Saturday the real performances of the cars. But yes, on paper, the Aston Martin looks pretty decent. As I say, that it could even be the top of the midfield runners. So that's just behind the Mercedes, the Red Bulls and the Ferraris. So we're talking 7th and 8th place finishes. Possibly. But don't forget, you've got, if you discount McLaren, you've got Alpine in the mix there as well. So they could, well, mind you, they have been in the last few years, but they could have a real fight there with the Alpines for that midfield position. But yeah, at the moment, Aston look pretty strong. But we will see. Will says Alonso will get 110% out of Aston Martin. Stroll will be underwhelming. Well, there you go, Will. There's an opinion right there. Champ says Vettel Alonso would have been a smasher. Yes, that would have been great to see. Great to see. I was very disappointed when Alonso went to Ferrari, to be honest. I didn't think it suited Alonso at all. And, I mean, he did get some good results, but, I mean, he was there for, 5 years? And really, I don't know. It just didn't seem to suit Alonso at all. But anyway, these are the decisions we make in life. Good or bad. Champ says, but with Stroll involved, it was not to be anyways. No. Will says, yeah, Vettel and Alonso would be mega. Yes, they would have been. It's a shame that Sebastian Vettel has now retired. It's just sad on so many levels. Just not on the levels of Formula One, but on the levels that the stuff that he did, sort of, behind the scenes as well. Sadly, he won't be around the paddock anymore. But I think the turning point for Sebastian Vettel was in the UK. He appeared on a TV show. For the people that are outside the UK, I won't bother going into the details of the show. But basically, the woman on there said about his environmental campaigns and everything about cleaning up the planet and stuff like that he does, which is a lot. But she said, aren't you being a little bit hypocritical though, considering you're going around a racetrack burning fuel in an F1 car? And Sebastian, he really paused for a moment after being asked that question and said, yeah, you are probably right. I am being hypocritical. And he probably thought about that long and hard and thought, how can I keep all this and still, be a race car driver at the same time? So that may have been the turning point. In fact, I'm not saying it was, but it could have been the turning point that decided that Sebastian Vettel was going to hang up his hat and retire. Will says Aston Martin should have signed someone like Nick de Vries. Yep, he would have been a good choice, I must admit, but unfortunately with Daddy Stroll in charge, he's always going to have his son. Lance Stroll basically has got a job for life at that team. Basically. He's not going to get rid of his son, is he? if you were a dad, would you? No, I'm sorry, son, you're not good enough anymore. So he wouldn't do it, would he? Even I'd say for a lot of cash, but you know, Daddy Stroll's not short of a few bobs, so it doesn't matter if a driver came along and said, "Look, I've got lots of sponsorship I can do for the team." He's not going to take it, is he? Because he doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. So yeah, I think Lance Stroll is pretty safe in Formula One for quite a few years yet. Quite a few years. De Vries is quick, yeah, says Champ92. Scott Barnes says, I think Aston Martin will finish 5th in the Constructors' Championship. I'm not on the hype train. Lance is too bloody inconsistent. Yes, absolutely. Will F1 says, Vettel or Alonso with De Vries would be a great lineup. I agree. Champ92 says, Sargent will be a danger, but the Williams is just a dog of a car. You even saw it with Russell. Yes, it is. But as I say, at the moment, Williams seem quite happy to be where they are. So, you know, I mean, they're not the championship winning team that they were years and years and years ago. The decline with Williams has been very, very slow. Very, very slow. Let's go back to 2017, which was not that far away. Not that long ago, I should say. They were still up there. Williams was still up there. And then slowly they declined from that point onwards. So it's been very slow for Williams. But they seem quite happy. So, okay. The trouble is, it's only Williams in name. There's no one from the old, well, the team mechanics and some of the staff are probably from Williams, but there's no Patrick Head at Williams anymore. There's none of the stars that we saw back in the day when Williams were in their heyday. None of them are there. So it's only Williams in name only, to be honest. So, yeah, but they seem quite happy. So, you know, at least it makes up the grid. And we're not going to end up in a situation where you only got 16 cars on the grid, which would be a little bit disastrous. So, you know, keep them going. If they're happy, why not? Why not? I think at this point, 2023, Williams are a little bit irrelevant in Formula One. I don't see the reasons why they're there, to be honest. But as I say, they seem happy, so let them carry on. Champ92 says the Pope. Yes, he'll be on WTF1. Imagine if that happened. Imagine if that happened. I'd be classed as a genius. Pope WTF1, lads. Will F1 says Alonso will finish 6th in the World Drivers' Championship with Stroll 12th is my prediction. Nice, Will. Nice. I think you could be right there. And Aston Martin will finish 4th. Champ92 says WTF1 is done. Come on, I mean P1 want help either. Yes, Tommy and Matt will rock the show, but the format must be good in order to keep Benign engaged. Yeah, true. I mean, I don't want to knock WTF1 because I've done quite enough of that already, and I've still got more videos to knock WTF1. But I've said it before, they should have just rebranded themselves. They still would have had that 1 million subscribers, although it is dropping off quite rapidly. But they still would have had 1 million subscribers, and they could have built the channel off from there. But instead, they're just hanging on to what Matt and Tommy had, hoping in desperation that they can hold on to it. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, you know, the two people that made WTF1 have now gone. And it's a very strange relationship when the owner of WTF1, Tommy Bellingham, actually leaves his own creation. It's just ridiculous. That's like bringing up your own kid for 7 years and then selling it off to white slave traders. There's no difference, is there? There's just really no difference. I just can't understand how the politics and the behind the scenes business went on there. It's just very, very weird that he left his own creation. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. I mean, go back to Top Gear, yeah? Jeremy Clarkson didn't own Top Gear. He didn't invent it. He didn't come up with the format. He just presented it. So, different situation. But Tommy Bellingham actually created the whole WTF1 like 13 years ago as a tiny little meme channel on the internet. He created it. and then he leaves his own creation. It's just crazy how things work these days. But there you go. But no, I've nothing against the presenters of WTF1, apart from a couple of them, and one of them, as everyone knows, is Hannah, because I just don't think she's got the credentials to be presenting on a 1 million sub channel. Considering she's only watched Formula One since 2020. I mean, not counting this year, that hasn't started yet. 2 years she's been watching Formula One, and she's now. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get 90% of the 4 people that they signed. I don't get the reasons. When, as I've said before, there's a huge talent pool of people out there on the internet. Huge talent. You know, as I say, I watch them all the time. Some really great people out there that could be on WTF1 now, making that a bigger hit than what Matt and Tommy has got. Absolutely. I've said it lots of times in the past. Why didn't they ask them? No idea. But anyway, enough of WTF1. I want to get comments from Milky again. Lance Stroll is a melt, says Will F1 Gaming. There you go. Scott Barnes says, smoke everywhere, call international rescue. Yes, exactly. Matthew says, I'm so happy right now. John Higgins wins. That's either a championship or a match. Well done, John Higgins. Yes. That's snooker to everyone that's outside of the UK. Yes. We're a little bit obsessed with snooker in the UK, as everyone probably doesn't realise. Yes. I used to be, but I lost the urge about 10 years ago. But I was absolutely obsessed with snooker in the 80s and the 90s. Yes. I watched every single match on TV. Every one. Unbelievable. I can't believe I did it now, but I did, yes. Champ says, I agree, Dave. Lando Norris needs to leave. Yes, he does, definitely. Lando Norris needs to be careful, says Will F1. Ha ha ha, yes, Godfather. You like that reference? Yeah. I love those films. Love those. My favourite films of all time are The Godfather. They pull me back in. Jamie says, Lando to take Lewis's seat at Mercedes when he retires. Exclusive. Now, that I'd like to see, Jamie. That I'd like to see, Lando at Mercedes. That's where he needs to be. That's where he needs to be. He needs to be in a good team and a top team. So I'd like to see that. Champ 90s, I love that reference, sir. Thank you. And Will says, I agree with you, Jamie. Yes. There you go. Look at that. A lot of support for Jamie in the chat there. A lot of support for Jamie. I'd just like to say a special mention to Jamie, who hasn't been feeling too good quite a long time, in fact. I'm not going to go into details because we're live on a stream, but I'd just like to say, Jamie, you're a legend, mate. Absolute legend. So there you go. Will says, McLaren won the first race in 1997. For fuck's sake, Dave. 97? Did they? Did they? I know they caught up at the end of the season, because I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to look it up. I'll take your word for it. 2012 was an absolute banger. Yes, it was. 1999, says Will, was the best season of the 1990s. I will concur and agree. All these names were iconic. Mr. Drum Tank is in the house. He says, hook, hook, hook. He is back. Yeah, I am back. For a limited time only. So catch me while you can. Dominic says, Will. Polish Eddie says, I'm sure you're busy with a lot of different videos, but oh my God, that video that Wolfpack is put out about Bernie. I am halfway through one about Wolfpack. Just it's only a little one at the end, but yeah. Don't worry, Eddie. I will get to Wolfpack Performance because he's now on my radar. As soon as people appear on my radar, then that's it. I will relentlessly take the piss out of them until they sue me or shut down my channel. So yeah, don't worry. There'll be more from Wolfpack Performance. I might be a little bit behind because I haven't been 100% these past few days, but I will catch up. Don't worry, I will catch up, and I'll catch up with Wolfpack Performance as well. But I just love the guy. I really do. His enthusiasm and his commitment to the cause of Lewis Hamilton is just epic. I'm as excited as shit, baby. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, Wolfpack Performance on YouTube, go check him out. He's great. Really is great. Maybe not for good reasons, but he is great. And his intro video, it still makes me dizzy every time I watch it. It's just absolutely crazy. But well done. Scott says, also, Dave, you noticed something in your comment section recently. Have I noticed something in my comment section? Can't say I have. Can't say I have. Will says, now, Dom, do you feel about there being no Nicholas Latifi on the grid this year? Well, Dom can answer that question. Drum Tank says, Dave Hook, what do you think of Fernando Alonso's comments on Lance Stroll being World Championship material? Did he say that? Did he actually? I haven't looked for the past few. He said that, did he? He said that Lance Stroll was World Championship material. Well, look at it like this, Dom. That sounds very much like a bit of psychological warfare there from Mr. Fernando Alonso. Yeah, a little bit of, because that is increasing the expectations of your teammate to such a level that he can't possibly get to, because it's never going to happen in an Aston Martin, is it? Let's face it. So I'd like to say well done to Fernando there for that complete bit of Harry Potter bullshittery, because that is brilliant. Yeah, that is brilliant. No pressure then. No pressure. Yeah, he's going to be world champion. World champion. Unbelievable. Well done, Fernando. Hello, Will, says Drum Tank. What about the comment section is that? Yeah, what about tell me what's in the comment section. Will, I'm devastated that Latifi will not be on the grid. He is indeed. He is indeed. Will says, Alonso to out-qualify Stroll 23-0. Go Tifi, says Champ. Poor Latifi, says Will. Always will be remembered for the Abu Dhabi 2021. Yeah. A certain person beginning with H. I don't know who that is. He's talking about Hannah again. I tell you, he's obsessed with Hannah. I don't know what it is. Or he thinks I'm obsessed. I don't know. Just calm down, young man, or you'll get me a restraining order. I've had 3 of those already. Champ92 says Alonso is going to smack Stroll. Possibly for real as well. KDF1, welcome to the stream. He says McLaren will be battling Williams for the wooden spoon this season, guaranteed. Yes, unfortunately, I have to agree with you, and that's going to be a very, very sad day for Formula One. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see McLaren and Williams right there at the back. 15. Oh, it's just going to be crap, isn't it? It really is. I'm just going to be so disappointed if that happens. But at the moment, it looks like it's going to be. Champ says, mop the floor with him. Will says, Latifi has a 100% points finish in Japan record. He has. Yes, well done. I saw what you did there. Have you been commentating about Hannah again? I think he may have done. Yes, I think he may have done. Scott says, in quali, yes, Alonso will beat Stroll big time, but in the race end, though, a hell of a lot closer. Okay. Champ92 says, those UK-based teams racing for last would be a shame. Yeah, I agree with you. It would be a great shame. Especially as I grew up with McLaren and Williams and the iconic McLarens from 92 with the red and white liveries. That was my McLaren as far as I was concerned. So to find them now at the back fighting with a Williams, it's a sad reflection on the sport, to be honest, that these big names in Formula One are slowly dropping by the wayside. Would be, wouldn't it? But there you go. I mean, you can't really include Red Bull because they're still a relatively new team compared to the others. They're still relatively new. I mean, Ferrari, yes, established brand. I think they were there from season 1, 1950. I think they were. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look that up because that was even before my time, but I think they were there. So they're an established brand. Mercedes also, they've been in and out of Formula One, but they haven't been, in Formula One in this generation for very long either. It was 2010, wasn't it, when they started? So yeah, they're still pretty young. But you've got Williams and you've got McLaren, who were all the way back to, I think it's the 70s. I don't swear to it, but I think it's the 70s, yes. Maybe even earlier than that. I think McLaren was the 60s, in fact. Yeah, Bruce McLaren, he was 60s, I'm sure he was. So Williams, I think, was the late 70s. I think that's when they started. So they are very well-established teams, and to see him right at the back, very, very sad day for motorsport. Very sad day indeed. Smack in the face, says Champ 92. Will F1 says Dave and Hannah. All right, leave it now, leave it. Go and watch her TikTok videos. Yeah, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I was watching her on Instagram, but unfortunately she's now made her account private. I wonder why. So I can't look at the pretty pictures now. Yeah, I can send her a follow request, but it'll probably be rejected, so I won't bother. That's very unfair, Hannah, that you should privatise your Instagram account, because there's lots of followers out there that would like to see your pretty pictures, and now they can't. Very unfair indeed. Give the public what they want. That's what we say. Williams and McLaren literally carried F1 on their backs. Yes, quite agree. Will F1 says Dave has a crush on it. Leave it now. Leave it, okay? Leave your restraining order. Don't forget. Restraining order. Bloody hell. Champ 92 says, bastards. Ferrari, okay too, but we know Ferrari, how they tend to screw up things under pressure. Very, very true. And of course, they got a new team boss now, which could be good or it could be bad. Usually there's a transitional time before they get up to speed, so it could be bad. Dave, how you live with that? Leave it now, leave it. Has Hannah been in the comments? No, she hasn't been in the comments. I'd have the shock of my life if she was in the comments. Dave, you dirty little perv. KDF1 says Zach and James Kay need to go as soon as possible. They aren't championship winning material. Yeah, I agree. I said that a little bit earlier, KD. I've got my question mark over Zach Brown. I just don't feel he's not a championship winning boss. He just feels a little bit underwhelming, which is surprising for an American, because usually Americans are all big and brash and but he doesn't do it for me. So he seems very understated. I've watched him when he did that tour of his McLaren setup where he's got all the cars, and he was talking to one of the female presenters. I can't remember who it was, and he seemed very understated. I mean, he loves Formula One. Don't get me wrong, and he's got a real passion for it. But I just don't think he's got that, as I've said before, killer instinct that you need in this sport. You need this killer instinct. Look at Toto Wolff. I've been watching videos of him this past week, and he does look like a bit of an arsehole, doesn't he? The things that he comes out with. He really does look... I bet old Susie Wolff has a lot of trouble with him at home. I bet she does. But then again, she is Scottish, so she can give back as good as she gets. Because don't you mess with Scottish women. Fuck knows, don't you mess with Scottish women. You'll end up with your arse on fire, I'll tell you. Oh my God. They will give it all back to you and more. So that's probably why they're a good relationship, to be honest. But yeah, he just comes across as a bit of an arsehole, doesn't he? Toto. He really does. Will F1 says Alonso will probably still be racing when Verstappen retires. Possibly. Imagine that. And the end, he's going to race all alone, for heaven's sake. Yes, true. No, but imagine if she was my god, the banter would be extreme. Yes, it would be extreme. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Age is just a freaking number. It is. You're quite true. You're quite true. It was proven time and time again. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. If you've still, if you've still got determination and your body is still able, that's the main thing. Because, lots of sportsmen, they retire because they feel that their body is not going to be, the full potential. I mean, tennis as an example, you get very few people go past the age of 36 in tennis. Very few, because it's a very, very physically demanding sport, tennis. Very demanding. I mean, obviously Formula 1 is as well, but you're taking a lot of the G-forces, but you're driving a car. You're not running around the track, you see? Whereas in tennis, you're constantly moving. So it's a very demanding sport. So 36 is about the cut-off point for any sort of professional tennis player. So you think to yourself, is my body going to carry on going for another 5 years? Can I carry on going with my body? And a lot of them do. So Fernando Alonso obviously feels that he is in good shape and he is good to go. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there and he would just, pack up. Because if you can't hold your neck onto those G-forces anymore, there's no point in being there because you'll just end up at the back of the grid. So, yeah. Will says, I dare you to find Hannah's email and email her to tell her to come to F1. What, you want me to get her on the show? Now that would be a laugh, wouldn't it? Hannah on the show, it would be. I would love to do that. A quick little 10-minute spot though, because obviously otherwise she'd want paying. Well, she probably won't pay anyway, but I haven't got any money. So, but if I can find her email, because I'm not going to look for it. If I can find her email, I will send her an email and I'll get back to you and see what happens. Okay? I have got an email tracker, so I know if she's actually, or I say she's probably got a team of people that answer the emails, but I can see whether the team's read the email or not. Because that's what happened with Arava when I invited him onto this show. I get an email back saying that the message has been read, and he did. When I say he, once again, I'm talking about his team, because it was actually handled by Veloce. Veloce read the message, but unfortunately they didn't get back to me, and I'm very, very upset about that. I am that he didn't want to be here, because I know out there's a lot of Arava fans. A lot of people watching this are fans of Arava. So, he would be doing himself a favour by coming on the show, but it's not to be. Not to be. So, yeah, if I can find her email, I will email her and see basically if she even reads the email. As long as she reads the email, that's as good as getting her on the show, surely. Yeah, as long as she reads it. If she doesn't read it, then, that is definitely a snub to me. But if she reads it, then, yeah, good. If the desire is there to compete, these folks do magic things. Yes, they do. Will F1 says, don't really. Jimmy will testify this from his grave. Yes, he will. Watch this space, says Scott. Goated comments. Will F1 says, Fangio was 46 when he won his fight. There you go. 46. But didn't he... won his final championship. Didn't he carry on after that, though? I just seem to remember in my adult brain that he was still racing in his 52. Maybe not, maybe wrong, but I just got that in my head that he was still racing at 52. But even 46 to win a championship is good. But as I say, you can't really compare apples to oranges, because they had 7 rounds of the championship back then. Used to have 9 rounds, but 2 of those were called non-championship rounds. So there's only actually 7 championship rounds back then. So it's a little bit different compared to today for winning the World Championship. I'm not taking anything away from them, of course, because bloody hell, they had it a lot harder back then than they do now, with the, as I say, with a little cloth cap on and completely open cockpit, no seatbelt. Oh my God. They were the real heroes of motorsport. Let's not take that away from them. All I'm saying is that with only 7 rounds of the championship, obviously to win it, is an easier thing to do because there's only 7 rounds. If it was 20 rounds, then obviously, there's more rounds to try and get the points. But not taking it away from Fangio, great job he did. And at 46, I salute you, sir. I salute you. Yes. Juan Manuel Fangio was a living bot. Yes, he was. Crazy alien from Argentina. They're Messi Maradona of car racing. Yes, they are. Will says Dave has a... Oh, here we go. Dave has a crush on Hannah. Dave has a crush on... Did you type that in 3 times, or was that a glitch by YouTube? I'm pretty sure he typed that in 3 times, to be honest. Will F1. Yes, emojis. Milky. Will F1 says, which videos are you talking about when you mentioned the comment section? Here we go. They're talking amongst themselves now, such as the latest All Seasons episode. Alonso was amazing at Ferrari, to be honest. He was, Will. He was, but I just felt that he was wasting a little bit of his potential. He was good, but I just don't feel that it was... I mean, he was there for 5 years. He didn't win a championship, did he? So I just feel that it was a good experience, but a little bit was lost, I think, of Fernando by going there for 5 years and not actually getting the job done. Because I think he was trying to replicate Michael Schumacher, and that didn't quite work. But yeah, he did do well. I'm not saying he didn't do well, but it just didn't do it for me. I just didn't feel he had the right fit for Ferrari. And before, like the last couple of... we're going back to my comment section again. Vettel is a good person and a great guy, but he was trying to hang it up. He was just tired. He was. I must admit, last year he looked very tired. And don't forget, of course, the 2020 season at Ferrari. He looked very unsettled in his last season. I know there's a lot of pressure from Charles Leclerc, but he just, in himself, he didn't look very settled in himself. So yeah, it was the right time to leave, I think. Which is understandable in my opinion, yes, after all these years. Yeah, Alonso was a beat at Ferrari. Will says, yeah, but to be honest, Vettel was amazing in 2022 with the car he had. He was, I agree. Champ92 says, Alonso could have won 2010 and 2012, but could, shoulda, doesn't count. Exactly. And Seb was still bloody amazing, showing his qualities and what a real champion he was. I agree. Will F1 says, and had some cracky races in 2021 as well. Yeah, Baku, for example. Vettel should have finished 10th in the championship last year. So many bad strategies. Williams finished 5th in 2017. There you go. See, there you go. That's what I was getting back to. 2017 was the last year that I remembered when Williams was still up there. Because if you actually go to the 2017 game, the F1 game, then and you go to choose your team, you will see that Williams is up there as one of the almost top teams. And the first time I saw that, I was like, "Eh?" And I went, "Oh yeah, they were, weren't they?" It was hard to sort of remember that they did so well in 2017, but as soon as 2018 came along, that's when they started their slow sort of downward decline. Sir Patrick Head is an absolute legend. Yes, he certainly is. Champ90 says exactly. It's only the name badge, but the old Williams spirit has died a long time ago. But we still need them in order that the bloody sport survives. Yeah, we still need them. But I say it's only Williams in name. There's no spirit of. It should. That's what it should be called. The team, the spirit of Williams. I'd like to see that because that is exactly what it is, and I'd definitely like to see that on the car. But obviously that's not going to happen. But yeah, it's just sad. But we certainly do need them. Certainly do need them because not so long ago when Bernie Ecclestone was still in charge, there was the F1 Civil War, if anyone remembers that, when they were going to break off and do their own series because they were just fed up with everything that was going on in the sport. It didn't come to fruition, but if they had done, we would have ended up with like a 16 car field, which Bernie was very happy to have. And with the 16 car field, you would have had a few of the top teams running 3 cars. So it wasn't really 16 cars from two cars for each team. It would have only been about 8 teams with like 3 cars in each team. So very glad that didn't happen, because that would have been a disaster for Formula One. That was probably the last time that Formula One came very close to imploding from within, it has to be said. It's come close a few times, but that was probably the last time. And I would have hated to see that. But right now, I think 20 cars should be the limit. I don't want to see a grid of 16 cars. It's just too little cars on the grid, because if you get a start incident and you end up losing 4 cars at the start, then you're only going to end up with 11 or 12 cars going around the circuit for the rest of the Grand Prix. And no, it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. So yeah, we need Williams still going if they can. And if they need support in the years to come, then I think maybe the British government should help, because Williams have been a team that's been a great ambassador for Britain for quite a few years. So maybe they should, help them. They're not going to. No, our government doesn't help anyone, but that's what they should do, because they've been a great team. But anyway, they're here for this year, and hopefully they'll be here for many years to come. Once they would leave, it's all gone, so you can take all the others with you. Yeah. I just joined. Oh, Primal Plessy, welcome to the stream. So he says, I've just joined, and already you're mentioning about WTF. I know. I tried to resist, but just like the mafia, I tried to get out, and they pulled me back in. That's going to happen either way, says Champ 92. Matthew says, harsh on Tom Bellingham. He shouldn't have given full control over, though. True. I'm talking about WTF1 again. It's not my fault. I'm responding to a comment. Behave yourselves. It's true. He shouldn't. I mean, it's very weird how it was set up. I mean, he had the channel in 2013, 2011, something like that, anyway. And then 6 years ago, when he started the YouTube channel, he sold it to some bloke called Ibrahim, who also owns Car Throttle. So he sold it to them. So Car Throttle, the owners, were in charge of the YouTube channel. But then a couple of years ago, Tom sold it to the Race channel, which, as everyone knows, is another YouTube channel. I seriously can't recommend you go and look at it, because, as I said last week, it's basically 4 virgins on a Zoom call talking about the Aston Martin's rear suspension. It's just, people love it. Gets a lot of views, and they're almost up to 1 million subscribers. So well done to them. But it's just too pressy for me. It's too technical, too boring, basically. So I just can't get on with the race. It's just. No, it's too much like reading a newspaper on YouTube. That's what it's like. But well done to them. So yeah, so he sold it to the Race. And now, from what we've heard from Matt and Tommy since they've left, they were sort of dictating to Matt and Tommy what videos to make to try and get, as much revenue as possible. So not necessarily videos that they wanted to make, videos that would make, the most money. But I have to say, this has been going on for a lot of people said, oh, it was so sudden. This has been going on for a long time. If you look at like the last 6 months of WTF1 videos with Matt and Tommy before they left, there was a definite decline there from both of them. You could see that their enthusiasm was not there. There's actually a live stream from them on Twitch, where Tommy actually disappears for 45 minutes off the stream. This is a live stream, don't forget. He disappears for 45 minutes because the baby's crying. And I just felt at that point, the commitment doesn't. I mean, obviously, the baby's crying. You've got to go and see it. But they could have stopped the stream and started it later. But it felt to me that, oh God, come on, we just want to get this stream over and done with. So there was like a 45-minute delay before they actually started the stream. And I just thought at that point, yeah, something's not quite right here. So things were already in motion way before they left, so it wasn't really a surprise to everyone watching, but I don't think it was that much of a surprise that they were going. And they look rejuvenated and refreshed now they've started again from scratch. And it's a very scary business starting a YouTube channel from nothing. It really is, because you've got no idea if it's going to be a success or not. It's very scary because you know, for those first few weeks you're going to get no money coming in because YouTube only pays out once a month. So Matt and Tommy have had 0 wages for a month. I mean, obviously they're going to start getting paid now because we've gone into the next month. But for that first month, they've had nothing, no money at all. Hopefully they put some money aside so that, you know, to keep them going. That's usually what sensible people do. But yeah, so it's been very, very trying for both of them, I would say. Champ 92 says, I mean, every sport can be turned down in a heartbeat. Yes. Oh God, Dave is talking about his crush. Leave it now. No, Dave, you want Hannah. Oh God, no, that's it. I'm not reading these out. No, you're going to get me arrested by the police, you know. Planel Plessy says, tomorrow is Ken Bruce's last show on Radio 2 as the BBC have forced him to leave early. Well, that, sir, is outrageous. Outrageous. Shame on you, BBC. Absolute shame. There you go. Will says, Dave, behave when you talk. Oh, God. Milky, yeah. Just imagine if Hannah got Dave's. God. Hannah, if you're watching. She probably is, you know, because everyone watches this. The fun will be endless. Dave, you legend, that was another reference. It was. Dave will probably be bouncing off the walls. Yes. Jamie says, cheers, Dave. I'm going to leave you temporarily with the fact that K-Mag will finish 6th or 7th in the Haas. Dismiss them this year at your peril. Great driver lineup, new investment, and a very quick car. Well, thank you, Jamie. And I agree. I do agree. As I said at the start of the stream, I didn't discount Haas at being at the back of the grid, as you probably noticed. I said that it would be Williams and McLaren, but I said I didn't think it would be Haas because it looks like they've got something decent. Scott says DC won Australia and Italy, and MH won Jerez in 1997 debut plum. Though you're right, he did win Australia, yeah. But then their performance dropped off, and then it came back at the end, didn't it? Just before the almighty 98 season when they absolutely dominated. Because Williams, I've said about this before in the past, because Williams had Adrian Newey. He designed the 1997 car, didn't start the 97 season at Williams. He left, went to McLaren in secret, because McLaren even said, no, he's not working for us yet, but he was. He was working on the 1998 car. So Williams had to go through the whole of the 97 season with no development on that car. And it showed because they slowly started to drop off in performance. And right at the end of the 97 season, McLaren were absolutely unstoppable. Really were. Like, you look at those last 2 races, unbelievable. Catch me if you can. Yes. Plano Plessy says, do I worry Dave might not get through all these endless comments? Yes, I'm worried as well. Helium Trophy says, hello sir, welcome to the stream. That's pure shithousery on Fernando's part. Yes, I agree, it is. I mean, that is really putting your co-pilot. Wait, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. That is really putting your co-pilot on a highest pedestal possible, isn't it? Always world championship material. Well done, Fernando. Well done indeed. We love that. Hannah says we'll wear. Oh God, here we go. Hannah, and you're going to get me arrested. You are. Nothing to see here, Hookster. Bruce McLaren, legend. Yes, he was. Will says, oh my God, is Dave sneaking around Hannah's? Not sneaking, okay? Research purposes. Okay, I have to do a lot of research for my videos. In that research, I have to look up certain things, so I may accidentally happen to... Look, you're not going to be content until I show you, are you? Look. Right, a few days ago, okay, this was not the case. But last night it was, and I was very disappointed. I've got to make sure you can't see anything of my Instagram. Excuse me a minute. Wait a minute. Where's she gone? Oh, hang on. Maybe I've got... There it is. There it is. You've got to be precise on Instagram. Right, so here you go. You're not going to be content. Look, this is her Instagram, okay? F1 Hannah. Now, 2 days ago, when I checked this for research purposes, Your Honour, this account was not private, and now it is. Now it is. So I'm very upset. But I know what you want me to do. You want me to click that follow button at the top there, don't you? So type in the chat yes, and I'll do it. But I want 10 yeses in the chat before I do it. There you go. Right, I'm going to read the rest of the chat. Helium Trophy says, how come I can see our photo? Well, there you go. There's the evidence, sir. There's the evidence. Wait a minute. Perhaps she's blocked me. No, she can't block me because I'm not following her. I'd have to be following it. I don't know. She hasn't put her account private. Well, wait a minute. What is this then? What is this? Something's definitely happened. Now, I'm just wondering, is this a new account? Because it's only got 5 posts on it. Has she got rid of her old account? Because that is definitely her, because I can see the profile picture. I don't know if it'll let me make that bigger. No, it won't. But that is definitely her. So I'm wondering whether she's deleted the account and started again. The plot thickens. The plot thickens. Use Bisto. Anyway. Read some more messages. And Mr. Iron Patriot says, Dave, hello, sir. Has Verstappen got the title already? Yeah, he has. He won it. Yeah, he did 3 laps in practice, and they said, yeah, you got it, mate. You got it. And he's won the championship. So well done, Max. Planet Player says, Dave probably got blocked. Looks like it. No, I don't understand. Look, you can see it on the screen. Okay, everyone. You go check it on right now on your own Instagrams. Don't forget, you've got to get the name right. F1 Hannah, and don't leave a space after the F1. So do it exactly. Hang on, okay, I'm just hiding the top of my desktop screen, but put F1 Hannah in with no space. Go and have a look at it now and tell me if it says this account is private, and get back to me in the comments. Because I'm very intrigued now what's going on. Behind the scenes shenanigans. But I can't be blocked because I'm not following. You'd have to be following to be blocked, wouldn't you? Very weird. Champ says, of course you need to be an arse sometimes, especially in motorsport. Yes. JW97 says, are you on board the Aston hype, Dave? Oh, I am. I'm going to be calling myself WTF2. WTF2. Yes. Oh, God. Champ says, impossible to play Mr. Nice Guy all the time. Life is not a fairy tale. Never a truer word has been spoken there. It certainly is not a fairy tale. Helium Trophy says, I remember one girl from Glasgow coming out picking fights with men with broken glass bottles. Wowzers. Wowzers. Yes. Oh, you're talking about Scottish women. Yeah, I know. They're lethal, mate. Lethal. Don't go near them. Don't go near them. Dave, when's the phone calls? Florida Plessy says, sad that all these teams, Williams, McLaren and Lotus, that dominated F1, as times changed, they faded away. Yes, they did. It is very sad. Champ 92 says, I think we're about to have a solid motorsport season with F1 and MotoGP, but we are up to another dominance, I predict, i.e. Red Bull and MotoGP. Ducati Cup. I mean, they work so inch perfect. Yes, they do. Will F1 Gaming says, I want McLaren to be fighting at the front, or at least how they were in 2020-21, getting their podium here and there. I'd like that too, Will, but I don't think it's going to happen. Ducati is also a powerhouse in SBK. Yes. Planel Pletty says, I think there was a time when Jeremy Clarkson owned the Top Gear format before he sold it to the BBC. Yeah, I think you could be right there, Planel. Didn't he own it when he brought it back? Because that's how he brought it back. I'm not quite sure. We'd have to go into the intricacies of BBC contracts, but I'm pretty sure that's how he brought it back, because he took over ownership of it. I'm not so sure on that, though. Final Fletty says, in 2003, the races in the Superbike season were won by Ducati, which led some people calling it the Ducati Cup. I'm extremely excited, says Chap92, to see what the midfield was about to do in F1, but most of the time I could see RB19 in front, and reliability could decide the races and play a factor just like last year. Planet Plessy says, yes, sir. Champ says, Borgo Panig. I don't even know who that is, but well done. Honda is in major trouble for this year. MotoGP, they're falling like a stone on top of Marquez was injured, and let's not forget. Newey was a genius. He was way ahead of his time, one of the best ever in terms of car design. Yes, he was. And that 1998 McLaren was epic. Unbeatable. Well done. Bless you, says Planel Blessy. Will F1's Gaming says, Champ92 says, like the, I can't even pronounce that, but I agree with you. Will says, Hakkinen retired from the lead 3 times in 97, and Coulthard would have won Canada had he not pitted before Panis's crash. Champ92 says, there she is, Hannah Queen. This is probably her old username before she joined WTF1. Yes. Moaning Yorkshireman's in there. He says, yes. Yeah. Oh, this is in response to me pressing the follow button. I almost forgot. It's been so long ago. Like 10 minutes. We got yes, yes, yeah. Oh, there's more than 10 there, isn't there? Oh, wait a minute. You've got the wrong Instagram account. Put in the comments what the right one is then, and I'll put it up on screen. Put in the comments. Wait a minute. Maybe this is her personal account. What do you reckon? Maybe she's got a personal account, and maybe she's got, you know, like a everyone can view account. So put in the comments what the actual name is of the one that you've got, and I'll type it in. I thought there was something wrong, because I definitely had the right one a couple of days ago, because I was for research purposes looking at all the pictures. Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic, yes. Oh, Dave, I bet you regret saying that. I do. I regret it already. Fantastic, yes, yes. The plot is you're a dirty old man and she's found out you're stalking her, so she blocked you. She can't block me because I'm not following her. I never follow anyone that I'm observing for research purposes. Yes, yes, yes. She's also Hannah WTF. Let's put that one in. Hannah WTF1. Ah, that could be it. That could be it. I think you. There it is. That's it. You're correct. You're correct. Well done, sir. Well done. Well done. You are correct. This is the one I was on the other day. Yes. Well, I was this is the one I was researching for purpose. Anyway, I suppose now I've got to hit the button, haven't I see, I've got to hit that button. You can't see half of it because it's up there hiding my desktop. But you want me to hit the button? Do you want me to hit the button? Do you want me to? Well, you've put enough yeses in. Okay. What's going to happen? Am I suddenly going to get a thank you message or a load of emotes? Probably not. Here we go then. I'm going to press it. Right now. I can't look. I can't look. What? Try again later. We restrict certain activity to protect our community. What the hecky? What do you mean certain activity? I was only pressing the follow button. Oh, that's outrageous. What the why? Why everyone? Why? Try again later. I'm very upset now. Oh my god. What certain activity are they talking about? That's very weird. That's very weird. That's it. The secret's out. I've been found out, everyone. I've been found out. I've been unofficially ghosted. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to cry with my bear now. I've been shadow banned. So we got lots of congratulations from Moaning Yorkshireman. Dave breaking all the records again. I think Josh had to join the chat after comments on his channel. I don't have Instagram, so I can't do it, Dave. Okay, Will. Yes, I think Clarkson did. Yes, I think he did as well. You have a comment in your bot section. At least Ken Bruce is taking Popmaster with him to his new home, Greatest Hits Radio, as he owns the format. Well done, Ken. Mind you, owning something does not mean you actually own the rights to it these days. Just ask Tommy Bellingham. Borgo, is that his name? Panigale is where Ducati is located. Oh, that's a place, I presume. I'm really not up on MotoGP. I do apologise. Yes, McLaren were unbeatable until Nigel Mansell suddenly got ill and Jean-Louis Schlescher drove that one race and collided with Senna. I remember that. Will says, yes. Prime says, Hannah W2. Yeah, that's the one I've got now, isn't it? Yeah, is her name. Yes. Without that Monza 1988 race, McLaren would have won every race in that season. She'd not have done yet by any team, which is crazy. Yes. What are you doing? We're literally about to watch an old man masturbating on YouTube. Police on the way. Can we just name him to dirty old F1 already on that, you naughty old bastard? It's for research purposes. I keep telling you. Research purposes. Let's call F1 Hawley Police now. Police on the way. Yes. Palm of the week, you dirty perv. Time to call the Ross. Dave, don't. There's always Lee McKenzie, Dave. That's true. I bet she won't let me down. Let's try Lee McKenzie. can't find her. I can't. Oh, wait a minute. I put a space again. There she is. There she. Don't disappear. I can't spell Lee Mackenzie either. Why has she disappeared? What? She was there a minute ago. How do you spell Mackenzie? I don't know, but she was there a minute ago. Come on, quickly. No, it's not there now. What's going on? Am I being censored everywhere? What's going on? Hang on. I can't spell Mackenzie. I'm sorry. How do you spell her name? Oh, it's I don't know, what is it? I don't know. There it is. Bloody hell. Is that on top? Yeah, that's it on the top of the screen. Right, let's put that in. Oh, bloody hell. Lee M-C-K. Oh, it's quite easy to spell now I've seen it. There it is. There it is. Why did you disappear? Why did you disappear, Lee Mackenzie? Yeah. Bloody Hannah won't let me follow her, so balls to her. Come on. Lee Mackenzie. Lee Mackenzie. Oh. Oh. Now let's see if Lee Mackenzie will let me follow her. There we go. Are you ready for this? Ready? Hang on. I'm going to make myself smaller just in case that screen comes up again and says, no, you can't, you dirty old perv. Here we go. You ready for this, lads? I'm 100% convinced this will let me. You ready? Watch this. Ah! No! What's going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. What? Lee? What have I done? I've not done a bloody thing. What? Hang on a minute, everyone. I'm just going to go to my own Instagram. Make sure it's still working, because maybe... No, it's still there. It's still there. Anyway, anyone who wants to see my Instagram, there it is. That's me, F1 Games PlayStation. As you can see, it's clearly a Carmen Jordan fan page. So I've got credentials here. So I can't see why Lee won't let me follow her. Because look at the credentials I've got here. Look, lots of pictures of Carmi back in the day. Yes, back in the day. Look at them. It's my Carmen Jordan fan page. If anyone didn't know I was on Instagram, I'm not actually on Instagram. This is the only one that's on there. And that's me. F1 Games PlayStation. Carmen Jordan fan page. There you go. Oh, look at that. I haven't updated that for a while. 365k views. Don't think so. But there you go. So I've got credentials. What's going on? Why won't these people let me follow them? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Police on the way. Palm of the week, you dirty perv. Time to call the Rozzers. That's always Lee Mackenzie, Dave. Oh yeah, you did spell her name. You're quite right. I've completely forgot that. Well done. Oh God, I'm trying to do 4 things at once here, and for my old brain, it's very difficult. I do apologise. Will F1 says, why do I anticipate a WTF1 based Palm of the week at Bahrain? Murray's commentary on the Celestia incident was incredible. Sure, Dave, yeah. I can fool myself to bed too. You're in for a treat when it comes to the crawl room this season. Come on, we're all a bit dirty. That's what we're all here for. Exactly. Priorities. You should get Latifi involved. He needs a job. Can't spell her surname. Jesus Christ, I'll spell it for you. All right. Calm down. I got it now. I got it. But she still won't let me follow her anyway. Unbelievable. I've not done anything to Lee Mackenzie. For the world to see, lads. He does need a job, but never arrived for the interview, unfortunately. You are missing out on something. I think Latifi must have crashed, so he's never arrived for the interview. Dave on OnlyFans confirmed. Breaking news. That's right. I've got to go. I've got a funny feeling Dad's going to get into trouble and we're not going to be the accomplices. I've got a feeling that's going to happen as well. Modern way of earning some quick bucks. Perv alert. Palmers are flying everywhere. Oh dear. Carmen Jalder is still Dave's crush. Yes, she is. Oh dear indeed. At least that's what I think so. In fairness, it's like this with Pauline Sansday, but she allows him to follow her. She does, Mr. Helium Trophy. She does. I don't know what's happening with Hannah or Lee Mackenzie. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'm gonna wrap up the stream. So here we go. One more time. No, I've been rejected. Oh God. Anyway, I think it's time I left before actually the police do get involved. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's joined the stream tonight, and I'll be back later with another video, and I'm about to go into disguise now, and hopefully nobody will recognise me. So thanks everyone, you've been awesome as always. Enjoy the Formula 1 race, enjoy Max Verstappen winning the Formula 1 race and the championship as well, and thanks to everyone in the chat. There's been too many to mention, but you all know who you are. Will F1, Champ Knights, Mo Yorkshire, everyone, Scott, Polish Eddie, and I can't think of any more. But you know who you are. Oh, KDF1, you know who you are. Thank you everyone. And I'd just like to say good night. This has been me, once again, just about to get into trouble. Anyway. Thanks, you've all been awesome, and enjoy the F1. Really exciting, always excited for the first race of the season, and then after that I nod off. But yeah, really excited, so enjoy F1. Thanks everyone for being in the stream tonight. You have been awesome as always. This has been another Hookster Talks. I may be back next week. I may not be. It all depends on how well this stream goes down with YouTube. Scott says, Hannah became kidnapped. She's in Dave's cupboard with Cockney. Stop it now, stop it. You're really going to get me into trouble. There was no kidnapping. She's fine. Look, she's fine. It wasn't me, Your Honour. It was my hands are look, not me. Anyway, thanks everyone. You have been awesome, and I'm going to disappear right now. Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you, Scott, Will, Helium Trophy, Champ 92, Matthew D'Souza was in there, Moaning Yorkshireman. Polish Eddie was in there as well. Plano Plessy was in there as well. There was probably more, but I just can't. You've been awesome, everyone, tonight. Really, Scott Barnes, Jamie was in there. Just J-Mo, Plano Plessy. I've said that already. Champ 92. JW97 was in there as well. And who else was in there? Oh God, all these messages. Look at all these messages. Wowzers! I'll tell you what. If I don't get 100 views for this, I'll be very surprised. Drum Tank was in there. Oh my God, I almost forgot. Oh, I've just hit my microphone. Almost forgot Drum Tank. That would have been a disaster. A disaster. And I think that's everybody. I'm just scrolling up. Yeah, I think that is. Okay, thank you everyone. You've been awesome as always. And I'll see you later. Champ92 says, good night all race fans of the chat. Good night, Dave. Keep racing for life to the stream. Much love and peace out. Yes, thank you everyone. You've been awesome as always. And I'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully, if I haven't been arrested. Thank you.